player here that may have even stronger and a worse ratio of shared backfield carries, and that's Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. And the fact that they bring in this guy out of college that was a fantastic runner. I think he had something like a 7 yards per carry average and like almost, maybe 1,700 yards, like something ridiculous last year.
He played in the Pac-12. That's not impressive.
Agreed. But still, I mean, you got to be good to still do that. And at the end of the day, we're not saying Kenneth Walker wasn't good, but I think we're also boosting Kenneth Walker based on his performance and stats last year a little bit too. Give me your take on these two and where you see this offense running.
Well, let me be clear. Like, if Kenneth Walker is available for me to take early on, not first round, but if he's there at the back end of the back half of the second round, like I want a piece of him. Like I want him over Charbonnet. But if I don't have if I'm not gonna be able to grab him, if I end up being at the tail end of the first round and in the early end of the second round, there's other guys that I probably want over him. I'd probably look for Charbonnet later in the draft. And I think, we've kind of talked about this before. I think Bijan is going to be the first rookie running back off the board.
Yeah.
And I think Charbonnet is going to be the second.
And in my opinion, I actually, not that I don't want Bijan, but where Bijan's going, I'd rather take Charbonnet where Charbonnet's going. I think I actually think Jahmyr Gibbs will be the second one off the board, just based on where people are putting value into that. But keep going.
Yeah, I mean, those are the three that are going to be off the board early on. I think Gibbs could be going early. I don't have him ranked very high. I don't really want to overdraft him at all. I think his value is lower in the draft. Like I value having Charbonnet over having value in Gibbs. Mm-hmm. So, and that could be if Gibbs goes in the third round and I can get Charbonnet in the fifth or the sixth, that's where I want to take them. Like I would want to take Gibbs in the fifth or the sixth. And if I had the choice between Gibbs and Charbonnet, I would probably take Gibbs. However, I don't think Gibbs is going to be there where I want to take him. I think someone's going to overdraft him. They're going to take him in the third or fourth round, and that's not where I want to take him right now. I think David Montgomery is still going to end up taking a lot of the carries there. But going back to Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, yeah, I think this is going to be – we've talked about this a little bit before on our previous episodes where I really do think that this is going to be like a 60-40 split. And I think it's going to be pretty clean. Like I think it's going to be 2 series for Kenneth Walker, and then I think Charbonnet is going to come and dispel him. I don't think that this is going to be like 80% of touches in a game are going to go to Kenneth Walker. I think this is going to be closer to a 50-50 than people think. Charbonnet is very, very talented. He can run this offense the way they want it to be run. And I think, we talked about how when Kenneth Walker was drafted last year, that they really wanted to give, another running back besides Rashad Penny. And the true plan was not to make Kenneth Walker like this bell cow running back. So it was pretty indicative of that philosophy when they go and draft a guy like Charbonnet in the second round. And so I think that they want to run a 2 running back system. They want to get these guys some longevity out of their careers, but they're going to be a playoff team. So they're looking down the line and like they don't want what happened last year where Kenneth Walker gets hurt and he's kind of beat up and limping going into playoff games. Like they want another guy there. They want to churn these guys out. It's so disappointing to see like DJ Dallas getting run out there. As a starting running back there. And because this offense is very potent, this is an offense I want a piece of, because you look at either the wide receiver room or the running back room, and even Geno is a guy that I have probably outperforming his ADP this year, just like he did last year. And I think people think that's going to be an anomaly, and I don't think that's it. There's too much talent there. On that offensive line is great. So that's another thing to consider with both of these guys is, all right, what if something happened to Kenneth Walker? Then Charbonnet is going to be what Kenneth Walker was last year.
Yeah, so, honestly, I think it could be better. I mean, when Kenneth Walker was drafted, I remember they talked about his draft profile being more of these. I mean, he's only 5'9". When you look at his size, he's 5'9", 211 is what they've got up on ESPN. That's not RB1 size for running backs. Like, we're not talking about muscle hamster here, you know? So when you look at Zach Charbonnet, the dude's 6'1", 220. Now that's your RB1. I think when Kenneth Walker was drafted last year to be behind Penny, it was to be a change of pace, and it was to be a great back out the backfield and a quicker back with more lateral ability and good vision. Rashad Penny being a big back with great north to south, but not a big east-west guy. You bring Charbonnet in, you've got the likes of Rashad Penny in youth again. You got a guy that's really good, low center of gravity, even though he's 6'1". He's very good north to south. He's good between the tackles. I think it's going to really help. And I think 60-40 is being generous. I could see this not necessarily being 50-50 because I think Kenneth Walker won the starting job, but I don't think Pete Carroll is going to want to wear out Kenneth Walker in a season where they're in a winnable division because you get to play the Rams twice and you get to play the Cardinals twice. And if you split with the Niners, you got a good chance the rest of the season to put up good numbers and make yourself into a playoff team. And like you said, you don't want to go in the playoffs with a hobbled, worn down, tread off the tires Kenneth Walker. So I think we'll see a little bit more of a timeshare, and maybe not early on, but I just think long term, Charbonnet is going to show that he's a hard-nosed runner. He's a good runner. And it's going to allow Kenneth Walker to be more free and get outside the tackles a little bit more than rather having to do a lot of between the tackles work and getting beat up at 5'9". So that's my thought process, is my take. I think, like you said, 60-40 is not a bad ratio. I think that it may get closer to the 50-50 mark, and the margins will narrow as you see Charbonnet, come out and learn this offense.